Hello, welcome or welcome back. Today I wanted to answer one of your questions about what to do when you don't know what you want. Such a good question because it is so important with this work that you know what you want. And of course there are times where you don't. So I want to share with you what to do in those times where you're not sure. So stick around. Okay, for those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Hedley Derenzie. I'm a qualified life coach, I'm an author, and I am super passionate about the amazing teachings of the law of assumption as originally taught by the great American mystic Neville Goddard. It is the stories that we tell that create our reality. So if you want to change any part of your reality, it's a good idea to know how to change the story, and if you want to know, or if you want to create the most amazing reality, then it's good to know how to tell the most amazing stories, and that's where these teachings can really help, and that is why I am here. I want to help you to tell better stories so that you can experience a better reality. And there are a number of different ways you can work with me. I have one-to-one coaching, email coaching. I also have a free 21 days Set Yourself Up with the Ultimate Self-Concept course. And I'm also on Instagram. All of those details are below, so check that out. Okay, let's get into it. So I am coming to you from my brand new beautiful home, which I moved into 2 days ago. I have no furniture. I have a mattress. It's a very new, amazing experience for me. As I shared in an earlier video, I decided to start manifesting a new home 6 months ago. And it all happened so fast, so seamlessly, so easily. I absolutely cannot believe that I'm here. And now that I am here, I realize, oh yeah, I don't have furniture because I sold it all years ago and I didn't know what I was going to do. So, you know, that'll be a whole other process in itself. But I just love the fact that that's not true. I have some furniture. I have a daybed and an outdoor table and a mattress and a fridge and a couple of things, you know, that's all I need. Anyway. What were we talking about today? What to do when you don't know what you want? Such a good question because I've been in that position many times before where I'm just not sure, you know, what exactly I want. Like it's kind of like I'm in the ballpark and it's like I could want that or want that. And, you know, part of this work is you absolutely have to know what you want. That's part of the game. And if you don't, that's where you get kind of reality reflecting back. Let's say in relationships, like a great example of this is the hot and cold. So it's like when you're not sure about the person and you have these opposing thoughts, your reality, which there's a lag time, will play catch up with that and you'll experience it with hot and cold behavior from your specific person or whoever it is that you're dating. And why that can be really confusing is because there's that lag time, and by the time the cold behavior catches up, in reality, you're back onto the hot feelings, like feeling like, yeah, you really like this person, and they're acting cold to you. And then what that does is that triggers your not sureness again. And then you kind of back off and then they come really keen. And then there's that, like, it's just like this playing catch up. And you don't realize that actually you're the one causing it by what you're choosing to focus on. And it's just the same thing with anything. If you're not sure, reality just has to match up with that. It will reflect back your state of consciousness. So if you're not sure about something, reality is going to reflect it back. So it's really good to know what you want. Now, the question is, what if you don't know what you want? When it comes to the stories that you're telling, there are 3 dominant stories that we tell. The first story is your self-concept. So that's your foundational story, is your self-concept. That's the story that you have about you in relation to the world and to others. So that's your foundational story. You want to make sure that that's really strong. So I would suggest that anyone who's new to these teachings or coming in, just focus on self-concept at least for the first 30 days and maybe not worry too much about manifesting anything. Just really get your story right. Then we have general stories for each section of our life. So you'll have a general story about money, you'll have a general story about relationships, you'll have a general story about home, you'll have a general story about work, you'll have a general story about friends. So we have general stories in relation to the areas of our life. Now then the third tier of the storytelling that we do is the specific story. So you have the first level, which is your self-concept, your foundational story. The second level is the general story. And the third level, which is like if it's a pyramid, if it's a pyramid, that is at the top, the specific. So when you're really clear and you're crystal clear on what you want, that's that little triangle up the top. I'm just making this up as I go along, by the way. So I'm just like seeing it as a pyramid. But that is your specific story. Now, if you don't know what you want specifically, that's cool. You just work on the 2 levels of the story. So you work on your self-concept and then you work on your general story. For example, if you are not sure of what you want to do in a career, what you do is you work on your self-concept, which you have to be doing every day, or you should be, no shoulds, no haves, whatever, but I would suggest and recommend very strongly, if you're committed to this work, to be working on your self-concept every day. And that's the I am amazing, I am intelligent, I am successful, I am beautiful, I am smart, I am generous, I am kind, I am loving, I am affectionate, I am whatever. Then that general story in relation to what it is, that area that you want to focus on. So in that example, it would be your career. So if you don't know the specifics of the career that you want, that doesn't matter. You can still live in the end of being in a fulfilling career that you're passionate about. And you can use the isn't it wonderful technique. Isn't it wonderful that I am now in the most amazing career where I am so happy and I'm using all of my talents and my skills and I'm so passionate about what I'm doing and I am making a difference in the lives of others. Isn't it just so wonderful that I am now being financially rewarded for doing what I am just so naturally good at and enjoy doing? It's not even work. So you can tell that story, and in that story there are no specifics. You don't need to know the specifics. So don't worry too much if you don't know what the specifics are, but then I would really suggest that you do some self-inquiry as to what's the experience that you want to have, and that's pretty easy. Like, let's say if I didn't know what home I wanted to be, like when I was visualizing my home, I didn't know this home existed. I didn't know the specifics when I was creating it. But what I did know was that I was in a home that was spacious, that was filled with light, that was close to the ocean, where I could ride my bike to the beach, and that where I could hear the sound of the oceans, and that was quiet, and I could see and be around nature and have lots of space and have a place where I could do my videos. We're actually in the living room right now, but I do have a room which will be turned into my office and studio. So, you know, I didn't know the specifics, but I kind of had the general idea of what I wanted, and I knew that I wanted to feel comfortable and spacious and expansive and abundant, and, or, you know, just I really kind of got into the feeling of what it was that I wanted to experience by living in my home. And that was pretty easy. You know, that's like when you really settle yourself down and calm down your mind and get into that meditative state, it's actually really easy to just slip into the idea of what it is that you want, even if it's just on a general basis. One of the questions that somebody asked is they didn't know if they wanted to live by the water or the in nature, so more inland. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know. What you want to do is just clarify the way you want to feel. Isn't it wonderful that I am now in a home that I feel so rejuvenated by, and every day I wake up and I feel so alive by my surroundings, and I just love the surroundings that I'm in. You don't need to know the specifics. That's where you can let reality show up. And sometimes it just matches imagination, but sometimes reality just really like steps it up, because in my vision of imagining my home, I couldn't see the water, I could just hear it. I couldn't see the ocean, but from my balcony, I can see the ocean, I can see the trees, I can see everything, and I can also hear it as well. It's amazing. So reality really stepped up from my vision that I was playing out in my imagination. Yeah, just go general. Don't worry too much about it, and continue, as always, working on strengthening your self-concept. That's absolutely foundational, and then you can start to look at the general stories in each area of your life. And in some of those areas, you might be very clear about what the specifics are, and in other areas, not so much. So, and that doesn't matter. Just work with what you got. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Please remember, as always, you are the creators of your reality. You are the superstar of your show. You are the producer, the writer, the director, and the actor in your movie. What you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you and assume the best for everyone in your movie too, and you will have an amazing life. And this is my wish, my vision, and my prayer for you. Thanks for listening. Please feel free to like, share, and comment. I love reading your comments. Thank you so much. And if you are new and you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would love to have you. Okay, see you next time.